Today I'm going to talk about generalized anxiety disorder, also known as GAD. I was recently diagnosed with GAD, and it's something I've been dealing with for years and didn't even know I was dealing with it. This is a common condition that affects many people, and I hope this podcast will help those who are struggling with GAD to understand this disorder better. But before we get into it, here's an ad.
Coming soon to these retailers: Amazon, Apple Books, Barnes & Noble, Google Play Books, and Kobo is the newest book released by Michelle Carey titled Something Borrowed. Upon meeting Lucky, Mickey Monroe immediately sensed a unique quality about him. He exuded confidence, with perhaps a touch of cockiness, yet he also displayed a genuinely caring and sweet nature. Mickey felt crushed and shattered upon discovering that Lucky was romantically involved with her colleague, Laura. However, with the introduction of Beth into the equation, Mickey soon realized that she was not the only one vying for Lucky's attention. Something Borrowed is a suspenseful romance that will have you on the edge of your seat as the mystery of Luke Lucky Varino is uncovered. Find out more at www.michellescarey.com. This ad is sponsored by Sunray Multimedia.
So GAD, generalized anxiety disorder. It's a common mental health condition that affects millions of people worldwide. And it is characterized by excessive, persistent, and uncontrollable worry about everyday situations and events. I know. I had this presentation that I had to do for work, and I knew about the presentation 3 weeks ahead of time. It wasn't like I didn't know the information. I did, but I obsessed over it every day, day and night until that presentation was over. The worry is often, it's out of proportion, and its actual risk or impact of that situation. Sometimes it can be very difficult to control. I tried to do all kinds of things to try to bring myself down. The day of the presentation, I'm just sitting there at my computer, because it was a virtual meeting at that. And my Apple Watch told me that my heart rate was at 124. And I'm just sitting there. I'm not even doing anything. But GAD is classified as an anxiety disorder and is diagnosed based on the criteria outlined in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the DSM-5. I'm pretty sure we all remember hearing that from the Johnny Depp trial with Amber Heard. But according to the DSM-5, the criteria for a diagnosis of GAD, it includes excessive anxiety and worry about a variety of events and or activities that occur more days than not for at least 6 months. I've been dealing with this for years. I didn't know what it was. This year I just decided, I'm going to start taking therapy for this really bad anxiety that I keep feeling, because I get panic attacks and all kinds of stuff. And now I know what's going on. Difficulty controlling worry, which is, very much true. Everything is worrisome to me. The anxiety and worry that are associated with at least 3 of the following symptoms: restlessness, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, irritability, muscle tension, and sleep disturbance. Sometimes I can sleep, sometimes I can't sleep. Yes, I feel restless, I'm tired, because my mind is always thinking about the event or the activity or the situation. And the anxiety and worry, it causes distress or impairment of social, occupation, or other important areas of functioning. I would say that my issue is more so with social, that I have opportunities to go places and do things, and I just choose not to, and I just stay home pretty much. So the exact cause of GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, is not fully understood, but it is thought to be a combination of genetic, environmental, and biological factors. And research has shown that GAD is more common in people who have a family history of anxiety disorders, suggesting that genetic component. Sometimes it's linked to traumatic life events, chronic stress, and medical conditions. those things can also contribute to the development of GAD. And I would not be surprised, especially when it comes to medical conditions, how much you can obsess over your health and if you would be okay. I know I stress out over my health. I am not a fitness fanatic, but I'm always thinking about, oh, should I put that in my body? Oh, maybe I should get up and walk. Oh, I need to get on my bike. Those types of things, especially with the pandemic. I was feeling that just a little bit more. And GAD can be a chronic condition if it's left untreated, and it can significantly impact a person's quality of life. That's how I knew I needed treatment, because things were just getting out of control in my mind. But people with GAD, we may experience difficulties in relationships, work, and daily activities due to the anxiety symptoms. I wouldn't say that mine had gotten to that point, but I could see where it could have gotten to that point. But I'd like to say it is very important for people to seek some type of professional help if you are experiencing symptoms like this, because talking it through with a therapist really, really helps. Some common symptoms of GAD can include excessive and uncontrollable worry, like I said, restlessness, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, irritability, muscle tension, sleep disturbances. Now, the exact cause of GAD, like I said, is unknown. It's not fully understood, but research suggests that it may be a combination or the genetic or environmental factors. Like I said, traumatic life events, chronic stress, family history of anxiety disorders, substance abuse, medical conditions. Now, the treatment for GAD, there are some effective treatments for GAD. The most common include cognitive behavioral therapy, medications such as anti-anxiety medications or antidepressants, relaxation techniques such as deep breathing and meditation, and avoiding caffeine and alcohol. So I'm going to talk about these different treatments really quick. And I will say off the bat that for my particular situation, I have chosen not to use medications at all. I don't trust meds like that. I trust them if I have a situation like if I had the flu, which you really can't take medicines for that too much. But yeah, something, like penicillin that I know that's going to clear it up. But I don't want medications to alter my brain, if you understand what I'm saying. So we have cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. It's a type of talk therapy that focuses on finding and changing negative thought patterns that contribute to anxiety. So that's what I'm in. I'm in therapy to try to recognize that what I'm going through at the moment, how I can change my thoughts about it, that I don't have to instantly go into the negative, and that I can kind of feel myself going through this process. So a therapist, I have my therapist, and a therapist will work with you like they work with me to identify thoughts and beliefs about anxiety provoking situations, and will also help you learn new coping skills to manage your anxiety. And this therapy is conducted, of course, over several weeks or months, because it's not an instant thing. You just don't stop just because you've had a couple of sessions and you say, oh, I can think positively about that. It really doesn't work like that. You really have to do the work. You have to dig deep and figure things out. Now, there's, of course, such things as medications. Because I go to a therapist, he can't write me a prescription. You'd have to go to a psychiatrist for that. But there are medications that are helpful in treating generalized anxiety disorder, particularly if you're doing it in conjunction with therapy, of course. You could do antidepressants. They usually some type of inhibitors to treat GAD. And these medications, they help to regulate the levels of certain brain chemicals that are associated with anxiety. Then you have sedative type of medications that can be used to treat GAD, but those are really used for short-term use because they have the potential to be addictive. Then there's also relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, meditation, those types of things that help with anxiety symptoms. I do meditate. I write in my journal. I do deep breathing. I try to really figure out what is the crux or the deep seated issue as to why I'm feeling worried or feeling the way that I am. And writing it down really helps me to look at the issue and try to formulate it into a different space, if you understand what I'm saying. So these techniques, they're help to reduce the muscle tension, and they promote a sense of calmness and wellness within you, that you can face these things. You don't have to necessarily worry, that you can face these things. And practicing these relaxation techniques can help to build resilience of stress. Stress is also a really big thing, especially in an older women that can keep you overweight from the cortisol. So, these are types of things. I mean, everything is interrelated. You really have to recognize that these things are all related. One thing affects another. And then there's exercise, of course. So if you get regular exercise and movement, it has been shown to effectively reduce anxiety symptoms. I usually walk twice a day because I have to walk my dog. But then I also walk sometimes a third time. I have a treadmill. But I like getting on my bike. I have a stationary bike that I like to get on. I used to do it on Swift, but that can be a little wonky sometimes. So I do walk in Swift. I walk in Swift. Other people are running in Swift, but I walk in Swift. Great app. I really like it. I wish there was can somebody make an app where you could take a real life map? And maybe there is out there. Let me know. But you could take a real life map and basically ride your stationary bike through the app on that particular map. I actually have something, I think it's called walking distances, if I'm not mistaken, where you can walk the different trails based on just uploading your steps, walk the distance. So right now I'm walking the Appalachian Trail. I've been doing that now for 3 years. I'm almost done. Started in Georgia, and I'm all ready up to Maine. So I'm almost done. I think I have like 100 miles to go. So these things, they're natural mood boosters, and they can help to reduce the muscle tension and promote relaxation. You don't have to go hardcore. This is not Gold's Gym, right? So you don't have to go hardcore, but movement is really good, because if you don't move it, you lose it. Right? So exercise can help to improve, of course, sleep quality. I have been sleeping better. I have an Oura ring that tracks my sleep. And I'm noticing how many hours of sleep, how much deep sleep, light sleep, when I wake up in the middle of the night, and so forth and so on. So how much really quality sleep that I'm getting, because it can be really beneficial. It's beneficial to everybody, but it can be really beneficial to people with GAD. Now, we also have to think about some lifestyle changes, right? So making certain lifestyle changes can also help to manage GAD symptoms. This can include avoiding caffeine and alcohol. I don't drink soda. I drink water. I don't drink alcohol at all. Never really have. So I don't really have those issues. Now, I do take a natural supplement for caffeine on some days where I'm feeling just really, really tired and I need that energy to kind of move me forward. So there's that. But I also take a different type of supplement, because I'm in love with my supplements. And maybe I'll do a whole podcast about supplements. But I take like a vitamin B12 with oh my God, I can't think of it right now, but I'll get back to you all on that, right? But it does have vitamin B12 to kind of help you with your energy levels. Excuse me. Caffeine and alcohol can really exacerbate your anxiety, so you want to stay calm. That's the thing about staying calm. Caffeine can get you really, really hyped. So, and also, of course, eating a healthy diet. And of course, again, like I say, getting enough sleep. Healthy diet means, getting rid of some of those processed foods. I know right now that some people may not, but maybe look into just kind of incorporating small steps into eating more organic foods and eating more vegetables, eating the color of the rainbow. Sometimes it may be really hard, but just be mindful of that, because I've noticed that since I've kind of really changed my diet to eating more vegetables, I really feel much, much better. It can also, and think about other kind of relaxation activities that promote that are really about relaxation and stress reduction, like yoga or Tai Chi. And I have gotten into a small yoga practice. I noticed when I was doing Pilates, however, I got a touch of vertigo doing Pilates. I had to stop doing Pilates. And now I do more of the yoga because it's a little bit it's calming. I was doing Pilates on the machine thing, which was nice for the stretch, but I found that yoga is a little bit more in tune to what it is that I'm doing, and I would like to take up Tai Chi as well. So, what are some of the differences between anxiety and GAD? And I think this is important that we circle back on this because it is normal to experience anxiety in certain situations. Of course it is, right? Such as like before having a job interview, you're like really nervous because you really want that job, or a big exam. Did you study enough? Do you have all the information? Will you retain the information? What will the questions be on the exam? That's normal. And anxiety can actually be helpful in these situations because they help power you through. It helps you keeps you alert and focused. However, with anxiety, when it becomes excessive, persistent, and uncontrollable, is where it may be a sign of generalized anxiety disorder. So I just want to point out. So here are some of the differences between normal anxiety and GAD. So intense and duration. Normal anxiety is typical, temporary, and it subsides once the situation has passed. In contrast, people with GAD, like myself, experience persistent and excessive worry that is difficult to control, and this worry often lasts for months or even years. It's just the same thoughts over and over and over and over again. And then there's specific triggers. So normal anxiety is typically triggered by a specific kind of situation, such as public speaking or flying on an airplane. But people with GAD, on the other hand, may experience worry and anxiety about a wide range of everyday situations and events, even if there's no clear reason to be worried. Like, I have a space heater, right? So I worry about that. Oh my God, I need to cut it off. I mean, even if I just go from room to room, right? The space heater could be on. I'm coming right back to the room, but I turn it off. I turn it off while I go to the other room, do what I got to do, and then I come back and then I turn it on. Like, I don't want it on when it's not, when I can't see it, right? And it's not in my presence, right? I won't allow my children, they're adults now, but one still lives with me and then the other one's in college. But when she's home, I will not allow them to, when you wash clothes and you maybe stick your clothes in the dryer and then you may leave the house. No, 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 absolutely not. If you are washing your clothes and drying them, you must be in the house at all times, right? So, it's just those everyday situations and events that other people would not think about. When I'm driving my car, I think about, oh my God, am I going to get a flat tire? I could just be driving up to Target. I mean, yes, it is really that bad, right? Unfortunately. And then there's physical symptoms. So normal anxiety may be accompanied by physical symptoms such as sweating, trembling, or rapid heartbeat. But these symptoms, they subside. They typically subside once the situation has passed. In contrast, people with GAD may experience persistent physical symptoms such as muscle tension, fatigue, and sleep disturbance, even when there's no obvious reason to be anxious. And remember I said in the beginning about my presentation, oh my God, after my presentation, I was so hyped that I had did it. It took me probably to the next day to try to really come down from me doing it, just having it over with. I just could stop thinking about it. I was asking other people about it that saw it. Yeah, I mean, it is a lot. And then, of course, there's an impact on daily life. So normal anxiety does not typically interfere with daily activities or functioning, while GAD can significantly impact a person's quality of life and the ability to carry out daily activities. And so it's important to note that everyone experiences anxiety differently, and what may be considered normal for one person may be a sign of GAD for another. So if you're experiencing persistent and excessive worry and anxiety that is impacting your quality of life, it is important, okay, that you seek professional help to determine if you may have generalized anxiety disorder or another anxiety disorder. I mean, you don't know, right? And it's okay. And it really is okay. It took me a long time to just kind of like come to terms with it, and now I'm just kind of coming to terms with me telling folks and expressing that this is, what I have. It makes it a little easier for me to work with people if they understand what I'm going through, so things aren't as bad. I just power through. I do power through, but I have to keep those things, like I said, in check with the things that I do to help me to power through those treatments. So, GAD, like I said in summary, is a common anxiety disorder and is characterized by excessive and persistent worry about everyday events and situations. And it is thought to be caused by a combination of genetic and environmental and biological factors, and can significantly impact a person's quality of life if left untreated. So if you think you may be experiencing symptoms of GAD, it is important to speak to a healthcare professional, and seeking help is important for effective management of GAD, because you want to help, you want to identify it, but you want the best treatment options for your specific needs. Your needs may be different than my needs, and how you approach it may be differently. So remember, GAD is a treatable condition, and with the right support, you can overcome it. Yes. So thank you for listening to this most interesting thought and ramble. And I hope that you found this information helpful. I am grateful for your listenership and being a part of the Thoughts and Ramble crew. And today and always, until next time, be well, stay safe, and give love.
This podcast has been produced by Sunray Multimedia and Michelle Carey. Music by CreatorMix.com, the YouTube audio library, and editing by Descript.